Good afternoon, paramedics. I've been at all this. You're at the bottom of my list. I have a list of all the courses that I've got to reply to, and yours is at the bottom. And I kind of regret that in many ways. Maybe I'll shift them around sometime. What I generally speaking do is all of the courses which are new to me, which really need a bit of running in and a bit of extra attention. I put that at the top so they get my first attention. All the ones I'm used to dealing with, you lot, tend to go further down because I'm more confident about the subject matter and that it all works. You see, that's the thing. So, but by the time I'm worn out now, I've been doing this since it's now 20 to 4. I've been doing this now since 11 o'clock this morning. So I'm kind of all chatted out, and I'm looking at the all the stuff coming in by phone still. Anyway, paramedics, good to see you. My award last week for diligence went to Andy Tompkins. Nice one, Andy. You got the employee of the month last week. But this time it's got to go to Steve McCauley. All right, Steve. Sorry, I shouldn't be using surnames. It's a practice I try not to do, but I've slipped up on that occasion. Sorry. Negligence. Right, negligence. I had a couple of replies on the subject of negligence, both of which summed up the situation pretty well. You described yourself, Steve, as being verbose, but you're verbose in a good way, mate. I've taken the trouble of putting what you sent to me via email up in the discussion thing for everyone to see, because it was very well done, that. And, I've got my eye on you. I've got my eye on you for a writer. So keep it up. And Andy, ditto. The others, don't know. I haven't really seen much of your work yet, to be honest with you. In fact, it's only been a few days since I was shouting at you, wasn't it, for not logging on. Well, it serves you right. Let me have a little look at the evaluation, performance dashboard, and there's still a few there. There's still 3 who haven't signed on for 2 weeks. Some in excess of 3 weeks. I don't know what's happening there, but I'm assured that reasonable service will be resumed as quickly as possible. Well, I have to go with that. So, the only thing I kind of disagreed with you, Steve, was what you said about negligence, to the extent of I put it to you that negligence is really stacked against the person who's bringing a charge, and you have put some stuff here to try and persuade me, but I'm not sure it works, mate. I'm really not sure it works, that, because I still think that the whole system is loaded against the poor patients. All right, you've made a point. You've made a point there in your submission that that there are no win, no fee offers that get made to people all the time. Yeah, and I understand that, and you also make the point that it gets legally aided. Well, it's getting harder and harder to get legal aid for anything, and the no win, no fee situation with lawyers, well, you can be sure that they are going to want a pretty cast iron case before they offer you a no win, no fee situation. If you're seeking redress for a case that isn't black and white, that might require an awful lot of work, but still in all, you've got a case, you're going to have to take account of the possibility that you're going to have to put an awful lot of money up before you can even start, and then you might lose everything. There's no guarantee at the end of it, and it might fall down on some tricky technicality technicalities, because as you point out, Steve, there are several things which are dead straightforward. Do you own a duty of care to this person? Yes or no? I've gone in there saying, leave it to me, everybody. I'm the paramedic, and I've got my green uniform on, and it's going to be quite hard to shuffle off. Okay, although it does happen, it does happen. This duty of care, if somebody wakes up after a routine procedure and they are hemiplegic, something's gone wrong in theatre, who does the poor patient pursue in negligence? Is it the anaesthetist, who's supposed to look after his brain while he's asleep, or is it the surgeon who's going round, fiddling around inside this person's abdomen and maybe throwing off all sorts of clots? Who has got the duty of care in those circumstances? Because one thing's for sure, if you blame the anaesthetist and the surgeon, right there, you've doubled your costs. You've doubled your cost, and you've halved your chance of getting a decent payout. And I truly feel, and this isn't me saying this, by the way, this is a large rack of legal opinion, is that if you've got a sense of conscience at all, and you're a solicitor, and somebody comes in seeking to pursue a negligence claim, your first point would have to be to them, is there any possible way that you could put this piece up behind you without taking it any further? Because you could lose everything over this. And I knew a fella once, and there was a pretty obvious mistake made. And this was a nurse as well, by the way. This wasn't a member of the general public. This fella knew what he was talking about. He was an accident and emergency nurse, and something had gone wrong during the birth of his first child, and the child had been born damaged. And he had to pack in his negligence claim when he'd spent 17,000 quid. Now, that doesn't mean to say he got his 17,000 quid back. That means that he had to pack in because he ran out of money. Now, that strikes me as being a system that is built to defend the healthcare professional. And you say, Steve, that the trust will take the cheapest way out. That's very true. But if you're a trust employee, basically your costs will be covered. Not maybe to the best extent, but certainly on a better extent than a no win, no fee basis. Why do you think that negligence claims in the NHS have soared? You make some great points here, Steve. You make some great points, but I wonder sometimes if we wouldn't be in a better society if we went back to the situation that existed before Mrs. Thatcher's first government, when legal firms were not allowed to advertise. And I think that maybe that was a better situation than the one that we've got now, where they are touting for business. Someone told me they were in an A&E not long ago, where there was an advert up in the A&E saying, if you don't think that you've been dealt with properly in this A&E, ring us, which just strikes me as extraordinary. No one should be that hard up that they've got to take money off people who are offering to sue you. Have you ever witnessed negligent conduct, I asked. And you've said yes here. You've said yes. But what I really meant by that was, have you ever seen somebody who's been successfully pursued in negligence? And you say that this was a, negligence, that you yourself, a mate of yours, was the victim of negligence. But I think what you're pointing to here isn't negligence, it's neglect. Because there is a difference. There's a difference between neglect, which is a social term, and it has social meanings, and negligence, which has a very specific legal meaning. Was there a duty of care? Was there a breach in the duty of care? Was there harm the result? Now that, I wonder, your man who went to the MAU there, would he be the victim of negligent treatment with those criteria applied to him? You know, the negligent. I see that. I know that what you mean. What you mean is that you've seen people being stupid or horrible or careless or whatever. Yeah. But what I was asking there was, do you know anybody who has been formally taken to court, accused of negligence, successfully? And my guess is that you haven't. I ask this question all the time, and very few situations where nurses, paramedics, etc. I've known anybody who's ever been successfully. I've met people who've been accused of unprofessional conduct and been struck off the register. That's not negligence. I've seen people who've been sacked for some mistake they've made. That's not negligence either. That's something else. Negligence is a very firm legal meaning. So, look, I'm not going to say any more. Where am I up to? I'm up to 11 minutes now. These things get boring once you go over 10 minutes. I mean, boring for you, not boring for me. I can go on forever. So, well done. Andy, Steve, well done. The rest of you, you're very quiet. And I've emphasised on more than one occasion that I do not like the quiet students. And you don't want to get on the wrong end of me prior to your essay going in. You want to stay on my good side until after the essay's been marked. Only joking, everyone. Only joking. I'm not threatening you. So, start writing, you lot. Give Steve and Andy a bit of a blow. Start writing and we'll see how you get on. Don't forget that the student who does not log on is the student who is at risk. Bear that in mind. Okay, everyone, I shall see you next week. Bye now.